Rain fell in silver sheets over the outskirts of Tarn's Reach, a mining colony on the forgotten edge of human space. The wind howled through broken vents and neon signs flickered weakly against the fog. For Kalen Dross, a retired combat engineer turned mechanic, it was just another lonely evening. His small workshop smelled of oil and ozone. Sparks jumped as he welded the fractured plating of a survey drone. Ever since the War of Tides ended 5 years ago, Kalen kept to himself, fixing what little the frontier had left to repair. Then, the night cracked open with fire. A streak of light tore across the horizon, too controlled for a meteor, too erratic for transport. The object slammed into the desert ridge a few miles away, shaking the walls of his shack. For a moment, Kalen considered ignoring it. The last thing he wanted was more ghosts from the war. But curiosity was a hard habit to kill. He grabbed his plasma torch, a field scanner, and his old sidearm. Within minutes, he was trudging through the storm toward the impact site. The crater smoked and glowed faintly blue. At its center lay a sleek black pod, half buried in the sand. Its hull shimmered with alien runes that pulsed like veins. Then, movement. The pod hissed open, and a figure stumbled out, collapsing to her knees. Kalen froze. She was tall, armored, her skin faintly metallic with silver veins. Her hair, white as frost, was matted with blood. Across her shoulder gleamed an insignia he recognized instantly, the sigil of the Varkai Dominion. He swallowed hard. The Varkai weren't just any aliens. They were the apex predators of the Orion Rim. And this symbol belonged to Serax Thane, the most feared Huntress in the galaxy. The Varkai called her the Reaper Queen, and she was bleeding out on his doorstep. Kalen rushed forward before instinct could argue. He knelt beside her, scanning her vitals. The readout flashed erratic, internal injuries, plasma burns, and rapid blood loss. Her breathing was shallow, but her eyes opened, piercing amber irises locking onto his. "Human," she rasped, voice sharp yet trembling. "Don't touch me." "You're dying," Kalen said firmly. "If I don't help, you won't last 10 minutes. Her claws flexed weakly. Better than owing a Terran. He ignored her, hauling her back to his hover hauler. Within minutes, they were in his workshop, surrounded by tools and glowing medkits. Kalen had seen enough battlefield injuries to know what to do. He patched plasma wounds, stabilized her vitals, and used his old field nanas to keep her alive through the night. When she woke again, it was morning. Her armor lay dismantled on the table, weapons carefully set aside. She sat up fast, scanning her surroundings like a cornered predator. "You're safe," Kalen said, holding up his hands. "No one knows you're here." Her gaze softened just slightly. "Why?" He shrugged. Didn't seem right letting someone die alone in the date. A faint, humorless smile crossed her lips. "You're either brave or foolish." "Both," he admitted. Over the next 2 days, she recovered, though tension lingered like static between them. Her name, at least the one she allowed him to use, was Serax. Kalen noticed how she moved, every motion calculated, every breath measured. Even weakened, she radiated command. He'd heard stories, how she hunted rebel generals, led campaigns that turned entire fleets to dust. Yet here she was, silent, staring at the sunrise through his cracked window. "What happened to you?" he asked one evening. She hesitated, then said quietly, "The Dominion betrayed me." Her eyes flickered like burning metal. "I uncovered what they truly were doing. The Varkai weren't building peace treaties. They were creating weapons. Bioengineered soldiers meant to erase every other species." She looked at him, "Including yours." Kalen clenched his jaw. "So they tried to kill you." "They succeeded. Almost." She traced a scar on her chest. "They called me a traitor for refusing genocide. I fled, and they sent their assassins after me." Kalen exhaled. "So the galaxy's deadliest Huntress is now the hunted." Serax gave a low, bitter laugh. "Seems so." The following night, the scanners flared red. "Multiple signatures inbound," Kalen muttered, checking his console. "Fast, military thrusters. They found you." Serax's face hardened. "Then they die here." Kalen grabbed his blaster. "Not if I can help it." She glanced at him, disbelief flickering in her gaze. "You'd fight your own extinction's architects for me." He met her eyes. "You didn't come here to destroy us. That's enough for me." Outside, blue light split the storm as Varkai dropships descended. The battle that followed was chaos, energy blasts tearing through the sand, explosions shaking the sky. Kalen fought like the soldier he once swore he'd never be again, his blaster cutting down armored pursuers beside Serax's lightning-fast strikes. When one soldier lunged for him, she moved faster than sight, claws slicing through the air. The enemy fell. By dawn, the last attacker lay silent in the dust. Smoke curled above the ridge, painting the sunrise crimson. Serax staggered, blood on her lip. Kalen caught her before she fell. "They'll send more," she said quietly. "Then we run." Her gaze lifted to his. "You'd leave everything." He looked back at his ruined workshop, the only home he had left. "There's nothing worth staying for." For a moment, neither spoke. Then she nodded. "Then we run together." They escaped Tarn's reach aboard an old smuggler freighter Kalen had been restoring. For days, they drifted through the void, evading Dominion patrols. In the quiet of deep space, something unexpected grew between them. Not just trust, but understanding. Serax taught him alien consolations, stars named for victories long forgotten. He taught her the Terran concept of mercy. "I never understood how humans could forgive their enemies," she admitted one night. "It's illogical." "It's not about logic," he said. "It's about hope." "Hope," she repeated softly, tasting the word. Their eyes met across the dim cabin, and for the first time, the galaxy's deadliest Huntress looked almost human. Weeks later, they reached Carter's Station, a lawless hub of traders and exiles. They needed supplies, but word had already spread. The Dominion had placed a bounty on Serax Thane. Kalen urged her to stay aboard, but she refused. "I won't hide forever." The confrontation came fast. Dominion bounty hunters cornered them in a docking bay, weapons drawn. But this time, Serax didn't fight alone. Kalen triggered the defense systems he'd rebuilt, sealing the bay in fire and smoke. Side by side, they cut through their pursuers until silence fell once more. When the smoke cleared, Serax turned to him, breathing hard. "Why do you keep saving me?" He smiled faintly. "Guess someone has to show the galaxy's deadliest woman what it means to be alive." She looked at him for a long moment, and then, against everything he expected, she smiled. Months passed. Together, they became something the galaxy whispered about, a human and a Varkai traveling the stars, dismantling Dominion networks, freeing those enslaved by its rule. Legends called him the Ghost Mechanic and the Fallen Huntress. But to each other, they were simply Kalen and Serax. And somewhere in the endless night between stars, two broken souls found purpose again, not through war or vengeance, but through the simple, quiet act of standing side by side. She comes to remind you how to live in it.